8 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds, so I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers, and I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight when Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be, even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on Sports.
Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. Tyrone A. Johnson here as always. A couple days away now from Thanksgiving, which means I'm in a fantastic mood, my favorite holiday of the year. Tons of sports stuff to get to, but there's something caught my eye as I was coming into. I just wanted to share with you guys and maybe get Tyrone's take on it. I saw an interview with Lily Phillips. You know who she is?
I do happen to know who she is. She's going viral.
Lily Phillips is a porn star. Pardon me.
Adult film actress.
There you go.
Adult film actress.
Adult film actress.
Yes.
And she was asked on a podcast yesterday what her body count was, meaning how many dudes has she slept with?
Yeah.
And she was like, conservatively, 400.
All right.
And the host was like, dude, you had 100 guys in one night. There's no way your body count is only 400. So they raised it up and they said 500? She says, yeah, that's probably about right. 500 guys.
Wow.
All right. And then you have Bonnie Blue, who had 1,000 guys in one day. She claimed her body count was in like the 4,000 or 5,000 penis range. Okay.
Yeah, she had to go to the hospital after that.
So why do I bring this up at the start of a sports podcast? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'm a numbers guy. I'm a numerologist, right? Deep in my soul, which is why I was so good at blackjack and why I played as much as I did. Okay.
The numbers.
So Lily Phillips body count 500 dudes.
Right.
No matter where you come from, that makes you a hoe. All right? That makes you a hoe. And that's what it is. The Bonnie Blue thing, obviously you're like triple the hoe because it's thousands of guys, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I bring this up is I immediately thought of one of the great basketball players of all time, Will Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Now, I've read about every book written on Will Chamberlain, and one of his claims that drove people crazy, 20 years ago, before he passed, obviously, was when he wrote down in a book that he had slept with 20,000 women.
That's right.
All right? And he didn't blink when he said it.
Didn't blink.
And he walked through like what a day was like. Wake up in the morning, have sex. Go to practice, come home, have sex. Go to practice, come home, have sex. Like, it was every day, multiple gals a day. And when I saw the podcast this morning where Lily Phillips said her body count is 500 dudes, if she's accurate and Will Chamberlain didn't lie, I just want to let this sink in for a second, because 500 is a lot of people to sleep with, obviously, right?
A lot.
All right. That would mean that Will Chamberlain slept with 40 times as many people as Lily Phillips, who's a professional whore.
She's an adult film actress.
Yeah, which to me, nothing against her. She's a lovely gal. I don't know that I'd have her over for Thanksgiving dinner to meet my mom and dad, but a lovely gal. It would also be weird if my dad was like, I know you.
Hey, how you been? Hey,
and then my brother was like, hey, me too.
big fans. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Don't stuff the turkey. But I was thinking about it, and I thought, today would be appropriate to open up with just an homage to the greatness of Wilt the Still Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Not just on the basketball court as one of the great players of all time, but if one of the most sexually active women on the planet.
On the planet.
Which I think we agree that's an accurate statement to make.
Absolutely.
And Wilt Chamberlain was with not twice as many people, not 5 times as many people, not 10 times as many people, but 40 times as many people. You just gotta applaud it, man.
Yes.
You just gotta pay your respects to the late Wilt Chamberlain and say, I don't know how you did it, but congratulations on doing it.
He could have scored 200 points in the game if he had his legs under him. Now, I did the math.
Yeah.
Let's assume Wilt started at the age of 15.
Okay, which is early for a lot of people.
But
not if you're Wilt Chamberlain, I suppose.
in them streets.
Go
He
ahead.
passed away at the age of 63.
Right, because tall people don't live long, you know that.
That means for him to reach 20,000,
Yeah.
he would have to mess with, complete 1.14 women per day from every day from age 15 till his death.
Yeah. Now, the claim in the book, because I did read it, and I'm not making this up, the claim in his book was the first time he had sex with a woman, he was 5.
Well, see, that's a horse of a different color.
Now, I don't remember getting a boner at 5, but I'm not Wilt Chamberlain.
Not Wilt Chamberlain. He had a house. His bedroom open to the sky at his house. So you get a woman over the house. You go into the bed. His bedroom would open to the sky.
To the sky.
You didn't have that kind of game. You didn't have that kind of game. Listen, I'm not saying you didn't have game, but you didn't have that kind of game.
I had game, but I didn't have that kind of game.
Your house opens up to the sky.
Anyway, so long live the great Wilt Chamberlain. I'm probably the only guy in America that connected the two today.
Probably.
But long live the great Wilt Chamberlain. There's another topic we talk about a lot on the show, and I've been accused of having what people are now calling Chiefs derangement syndrome.
Okay.
I got it. I'm not going to deny it because, when I see a wrong in the world, I just automatically try to right the wrong. And there's certain things in the world of sports that are just wrong. And I feel like this weird sense of responsibility to be, even if I'm a lone wolf, to be the lone wolf of reason. And of course, I'm talking again about the cheating that takes place from the officials towards Kansas City, in favor of Kansas City. And not just the officials, the NFL. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, stop already. We're tired of hearing about it. Yeah, if you're in Kansas City, you're tired of hearing about it because I'm on to you. Everyone else in the world loves hearing about it because they all feel the same way I feel, okay? So keep sending me all the hateful tweets. I'm here for all the smoke. But here's what happened. Shane Steichen spoke after our show yesterday, else we would have had this yesterday. Shane Steichen spoke yesterday, and this is on the heels, of course, of the Indianapolis Colts losing in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs. And Shane Steichen was asked, you might remember the play, it was late in the third quarter, Colts are up by 3, and the Chiefs are driving, they're right on the 40-yard line, their own 40 or so. It's 3rd and 8, and Mahomes throws the ball to their backup tight end, Noah Gray, who's a really good player. Mm-hmm. Noah Gray, as he's coming down, he's kind of bobbling the ball, his head hits the turf, and he's knocked out cold.
He is.
Taken out of the game, concussion protocol, the whole thing. But as they say in some movies, he lost time. Like, he's blacked out, unconscious on the field. His arms go limp, all right? Now, it's debatable, did the ball hit the ground or not? We could argue that all day and night.
It sat on his legs.
On one side, it looked like maybe the ball does hit the ground. Yeah. But we know this for a fact because he was blacked out, unconscious, and his arms are now limp. Yep. At no point did Noah Gray possess the ball.
No.
That's not up for debate. So Steichen was asked yesterday, why didn't you review that? Key part of the game, 3rd and 8. If that's an incomplete pass, it's 4th and 8. It's third quarter. The Chiefs are going to punt, right? Mm-hmm. And you have the ball with a 3-point lead. And Steichen said, the reason I didn't challenge it, because I was going to, is the refs ran over to me to tell me that the NFL in New York had already reviewed it and they had determined that it's a catch. Now, I'm sorry. We've seen this a couple times already this year. It always goes in favor of Kansas City, and I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to figure out why did an NFL official run over to Shane Steichen and tell him, we use New York City replay assist. That's a catch. There's no way you did that fast.
No way.
Because when they do the replay, they might not have known at the time that Noah Gray was knocked out cold. And it's another example that no one else is going to talk about because it's 4 minutes or so to go, third quarter. You're not going to say that, is the reason the Colts lost. But, man, 3rd and 8 became a 1st and 10 as opposed to 4th and 8 and a punt. And it's another example, as much as you guys might think that I'm crazy, when there's enough evidence, I'm not the crazy one. I might be the only guy that sees it right. But how do you tell Shane Steichen, don't review it? We've already decided, in New York City, by the way, we've decided it's a catch. That's wrong.
That had to have been decided before the game started. That on a play like that, because the official had to be instructed to do that. That's the only way that happens.
And by the way, why is it, I'm surprised the NFL is even reviewing it in real time because they didn't know that he was knocked out cold.
Right.
So again, another small example of the Kansas City Chiefs never win on merit. And it's too bad because they've got a lot of great players and great coaches, but nobody ever asks them to win on merit. And when you do, 0-5 in one-score games. Lots cooking. Don't go anywhere.
Oh boy, oh boy. This is not going to go away, folks. This betting scandal that involved Terry Rozier, that involved Jonte Porter last year, and then obviously with Chauncey Billups getting involved and stuff like that, this is not going away. This is not good. And this is not the end of this scandal.
Pro Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
8 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight when Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. There is major trouble in Philadelphia right now. You can smell it. That ain't turkey. That's Philadelphia fans getting pissed, which is what they do best. And some cities just cannot have winning. Some cities are not prepared for the winning. And as soon as anything goes a little awry, it's panic in the streets. But this one, I have to say, amongst you wacko Philadelphia Eagle fans, is well warranted.
Classy people.
This is not classy at all.
Very classy.
This is one of those situations where I want to attack Eagle fans, but I think they're right. I think Eagle fans recognize, and I can't poke a hole in the argument, that the Eagles are broke right now. And the debate that I think is fun to have for Philadelphians right now is what's the most broke, all right? Because A.J. Brown is the first guy that comes to mind, and him being a cancer in the clubhouse, so that's choice one, okay? Choice number two for some of you, not me, because I'm the biggest supporter of the quarterback. Jalen Hurts is the problem. All of a sudden, Jalen Hurts can't execute the Kevin Patullo offense. I think that's crazy town, but it is a talking point in Philadelphia right now. Point number three is Saquon Barkley got high on the hog last year, and he's a shell of himself. And if Saquon Barkley was a great running back, the Eagles wouldn't have any offensive problems. And the last one, and the one that I'm going to dive into with you, is the reality that a lot of teams face. And to be fair, the Kansas City Chiefs faced it in the Super Bowl last year against the Eagles and in the Super Bowl against Tampa when Brady won his last one. And what I'm alluding to there is the offensive line.
Yeah.
Now, for the last 5 years, I think it's about fair, it was not arguable who had the best offensive line in football. The answer was every single year,
Philadelphia Eagles.
and it wasn't close. They had the most dominant offensive line, really starting with Lane Johnson at right tackle, Kelsey at center, and on, okay?
Yep.
And even when they brought Mekhi Becton in, great right side of the line, he was great at right guard,
excellent.
right?
Yep.
So all of a sudden, while a lot of people are poking their fingers at Jalen Hurts, which I think is comical at best, people are now suggesting that it's Kevin Patullo. My hand's raised on that. There's a difference between the Kellen Moore offense and the Patullo offense. And I think we have to look into, do we have the right guy calling plays? That's something that it looks like they're not going to change. And maybe it's even too late to change
I think it is.
with 4 or 5 weeks to go in the season, right? So I go back to the offensive line because Saquon Barkley's not hurt. Saquon Barkley will be the first to tell you, I'm good to go. I'm healthy.
He's healthy.
Now, he only had 10 carries last week, so that to me is an offensive game plan situation, which we can delve into. But here's the reality of the Eagles, and it's the reality that the Chiefs faced in 2 of their Super Bowl losses. You essentially are only as good as your offensive line. And that's why the more I think about how these teams get built, I would draft every single draft pick I had as an offensive lineman until I got it right. Because a great offensive line can make an average quarterback good.
Yes.
Can make a good quarterback great, can make a great quarterback a Hall of Famer. A great offensive line can do the same thing for running backs, right?
Yep.
All right, so do we really think that Saquon Barkley has lost a step? I don't. Do we really think that Jalen Hurts is not the guy we saw in the Super Bowl last year? I think he's just as good. But the one part of the Eagles that can't be argued that is not as good is the offensive line. Why? Well, I don't know. Because last week, 4 of your 5 starters were banged up and 3 of them didn't play.
Yeah.
So I know they're not household names. I know nobody goes home and goes, oh, I can't wait to watch that left guard block.
Right.
Which is why it's hard to come out and say, I know the problem. The problem is the offensive line, but that's why I'm here. That's why people look at me as their football guru. That's why people come to me to talk football. That's why when children want to learn about football, their moms and dads say, put on the Carton podcast. You're going to learn something about football. Not so much from Tyrone, but a lot from me.
See, that's why my catching strays over here.
So,
all right, I'm a sportsman from way
because you're
back.
an Eagle fan.
But I know Landon Dickerson's hurt.
Yeah.
I know Cam Jurgens is hurt.
Right.
And I also recognize that Lane Johnson didn't play.
He's got the Liz Frank, right?
Yeah, so he didn't play.
And he's the best lineman you got.
Right, he's one of the best linemen of his generation.
So why don't we all just slow our roll in Philadelphia, you nudninks, and instead of trying to figure out is there a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts? There isn't, by the way, and he's the best quarterback your franchise has ever had. Is Saquon Barkley lazy? No. Is he slow? No. Is he nursing an injury? No. There's no holes opening up for him, which is why they got to use him more coming out of the backfield with little swing passes, bubble routes, screens, that kind of stuff. Because Saquon Barkley in the open field is still the most dangerous player next to Christian McCaffrey, maybe even with Christian McCaffrey, in the entire NFL. But what's fascinating to me is Philadelphia considers itself a really smart football town. I could debate that all night.
I don't think you can.
I could debate that all
I
night.
don't think you can.
But Dude, you have a statue of Nick Foles outside your stadium.
I don't like that.
Don't tell me you're smart.
Well, Bud Light paid for that.
Don't tell me.
They didn't build that. Bud Light
Don't tell me
that.
that Eagle fans are smart when you have a Nick Foles statue outside your stadium.
I wouldn't mind if Bud Light wants to put something right here for the Carton show. I wouldn't mind it, but Bud Light bought that.
You put it up. It's there. People pay homage to it all the time. But here's the reality. The reality is that there's nothing wrong with your quarterback.
Correct.
The dude's thrown one interception all year.
All year.
Like, that's unheard of. All right, there's nothing wrong with Saquon Barkley. I think you got to give him the ball more, not less. There's nothing wrong with the talent you have in the receiving core, including tight ends. All right? But there's something very, very wrong with your offensive line.
Injuries.
And you're learning a valuable lesson right now that every team in football has learned. If you can't block and you can't protect, you can't run the ball, and it's very hard for your quarterback to let receivers get open, meaning it's a lot of quick throws, a lot of slants. It's not an exciting offense. And my point to you is this. I'm going to give you a quick number, a little story in numbers, okay?
Okay.
There's a running back in the NFL, all right, that this past Sunday did this in his 10 carries, all right? 2 yards, -1 yard, 2 yards, 7 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, 1 yard, 5 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards.
Yeah.
That was Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
That's what would happen if Tyrone or I were the running back.
Right.
With a good offensive line.
Yeah, that's what you get. Yeah.
No one's going to convince me that Saquon Barkley is suddenly a 2-yard-a-carry running back in the NFL. I don't buy it. It doesn't pass the eye test. So what's wrong with the Eagles? It's not coaching. It's not skill position players. You have a bad offensive line. Period. Stop.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
You got hit behind the line of scrimmage. You got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Quick thought from last night's game. Not the best game ever played, for sure. 5 interceptions in that game. Purdy had 3 in the first half. Then Bryce Young had one of the worst passes into the end zone with a chance to maybe make that game a little bit different. Yeah. So San Francisco wins. San Francisco now in the NFC West is staying right there with Seattle and with the Rams. They're 8-4 now. Mm-hmm. Their bye's obviously coming up. Seattle's 8-3. The Rams are in first at 9-2. Okay, Carolina dropped back to 500. They're now 6-6. So Tampa gets a little breath of fresh air off of their loss, and of course the injury to Baker Mayfield. But that's going to be a battle now.
But the MRI says shoulder damage not as bad as they thought, so he's not going to miss a game.
Great. So he's going to play this upcoming weekend. They're 6-5. Carolina essentially a half game back because they've played the extra game.
And they still play each other twice.
Yeah. Something happened in that game last night that fascinates me. Because remember earlier this year when all those math majors out there yelled at me that I don't know anything about ball when it comes to
going for two.
Going for two, not going for two, et cetera, and what the analytics are. So third quarter last night, Carolina scores their only touchdown of the game. And it's a 17-9 game, all right? So they decide to go for two. Now, play that out for a second. They wind up losing the game 20-7, okay? But they decide to go for two there. And I'm looking at going, wait a minute. It's 17-9, right?
Right.
So don't you go for one so that the next time, if you should score a touchdown, you have the choice. Either kick the extra point, in theory, go to overtime, or go for two and go for the win. When you go for two in the spot they went for two, now you're leaving yourself in a bad spot because if you don't get it, now you have to go for two if you score a touchdown again later on, right?
I mean, that's your theory. The counter would be, whether you get it or not, from the 2-yard line, an NFL defense one of the two times will get 2 yards.
Yeah, but
that's the other argument.
Look, I know the analytics drive me crazy. I've always believed you only go for two when you have to. So I don't have to go for two there. I kick the extra point. Now I'm down 7.
Right.
All right, I'm down 7 there. Now I've got optionality. If I score another touchdown, I can go, depending on what's going on in the game, how much time's on the clock, I can go for one, force overtime, or tie the game. Or if I'm really feeling it and I've got the defense on their heels, let's go for the win. But by going for two earlier, now you're forcing yourself to have to go for two to tie the game. Not to win the game, to tie the game.
If you don't get it.
Correct.
But if you get it, now you're an extra point away from winning the game. That's the argument the analytics would make.
Right, but it's not like going for two is a 100% proposition. We know that it's not.
They're saying it's a 50-50 proposition. So if you go twice, you're going to get one of them. That's the argument the analytics will make, that if you do it twice,
I think the analytics are wrong on that across the board, okay?
Okay.
So now play out the other part is, because since gambling's such a big part of the NFL right now, the spread last night was San Francisco -7.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about the smart gamblers out there who know to always buy a half a point to make it 6.5 or 7.5. I'm talking about the average American who goes, San Fran -7? That's easy money. They're playing Carolina. The game's in San Francisco. Carolina doesn't have a quarterback. I'm putting my money on San Francisco -7. So in the moment, it's 17-9. Carolina scores that touchdown, 6 points to make it 17-9. That's an 8-point spread. If you're a San Francisco 49er better, what do you hope happens here?
You're hoping they go for two there.
You're hoping they don't succeed and go for two.
Right.
But you'll settle on the extra point because you don't lose.
Right. It's a tie. It's a push.
Right. If they convert the 2-point conversion, you lose your money if there's nowhere to score right there. And this is the problem, although it's a fun one for a lot of people, and why so many people are engaged now in what might be a meaningless game on a Monday night, because you made it a pay-per-view. There's so many people I saw on Twitter last night as I'm watching the game going batshit crazy because Carolina went for two.
Right.
Not because they cared about Carolina, because of where they had their money.
Right.
And they're yelling and screaming, you got to kick the extra point. You're killing me. And back and forth. But again, I have always been of the belief you don't go for two until you have to. Going for two should not be an aggressive move. It should be a desperate move, because it's not a guarantee that you're going to convert the 2-point conversion, right? So instead of being down 7 and then a 2-pointer can win the game for you, now you're down 8 and now you have to convert the 2 or the game is over.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. It is, but the analytics say.
But Who's analytics?
Almost every team's analytics. That's why these teams keep doing it.
Like, what math major said that makes sense?
It came from the Ivy League.
Nah, Ivy Leaguers don't play football.
This goes back to Boston when they started putting guys in the front office from the Ivy League, and now it's in the Eagles do it, the Rams have it, they all have it now.
I would love to sit down with an MIT graduate and have them explain to me why I'm so off on this. Because apparently I am. It just doesn't make any sense to go for 2 when Carolina went for 2. None.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
When you look at Duke, you got to look at Cam Boozer. 18 points. The Bruiser, I may call him. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. I know he shot the ball 1 of 4 from 3, but he's showing his ability to really be a different player than his dad. A little bit more dynamic, a little bit more athletic.
College Basketball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyron Johnson here as well. You may have seen yesterday, news got worse for a certain NBA basketball player named Chauncey Billups. $5 million bond or bail, which means you got to come up with $500,000 of that, or you just put your house up. I'm assuming his house is worth more than $500,000, which is really a message that the feds are sending because nonviolent crime, to my knowledge, first-time offender of any type of crime, and no gun was involved. So when they come out, and it's an arbitrary number that they pull out of thin air, but they're trying to make a statement. Because when you tell someone you got to post $5 million bond so you can remain a free man or woman prior to your trial, they're telling you, we got so much dirt on you, boy, your head's going to spin. And you're such a bad guy, you're a danger to the community. Now, I don't know that any of that's accurate or true, but that's the feds kind of lumping on the case that has already been presented publicly. But that tells me whatever they think they have on him, they got him. Now, they may not, obviously, and the federal government at that level is extraordinarily arrogant and cocky, right? They're like the Shadur Sanders of government, all right? Very cocky, very arrogant, all right? But it doesn't bode well for whatever the defense Chauncey Billups thinks he has for himself. When they come out $5 million as the number for you to stay in your house, they're telling you, we got you. Now, again, they might not. There's a lot of hubris amongst those people because Chauncey Billups made more money than any of them could ever make in a lifetime, and that's real. That jealousy is real. They're also a bunch of Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and they think they got him, and they wanted him to know by putting out a $5 million bond.
So I want to ask you, if you're him in that point, and obviously you don't know all the particulars of this case, but you've been through, you know more than me and most people.
I know what we've all read, and I know my own personal experience, so I can speak to it,
Do you think at this point they're going to ask him to start maybe naming names? Is this the time where they start?
It's funny, like my lips are sealed, and I was never offered a plea deal, which is rare. But I guess my lawyer told him I got nothing to offer him, so they just never offered me one. At some point, if they really think that there are really bad people and a collection of really bad people.
And not to cut you off, the reason I say that is if you're going to throw that kind of bail, and you're saying it's that big of a case, well, then there's no way he's the top of this case. No way.
No. Someone invited him to that game. Someone made him an offer to be included. So if they're going over after, for example, organized crime or cartel or things of that nature, which is far bigger than Chauncey Billups, what they're doing now is they're trying to scare him. And you scare him by saying, we're not messing around, dude, $5 million. And he has the access to it and a home or someone to put something up, which is why he's not sitting in a prison cell right now. But they're trying to scare him. And the scare tactic comes first, and then they'll follow it up with, is there anything you'd like to tell us to help yourself out? And that's the rub on this. Now, it's easy for a lot of people to play the game of, man, snitches get stitches. That's a movie thing. I know that was a Carmelo thing way back in the day when he was with the Denver Nuggets, and that became a big thing around Carmelo Anthony and all that. But a lot of people like to talk tough. A lot of people like to say, man, I would never say nothing about nobody. Take your plea bargain and shove it up your, that kind of thing.
Right.
Until you're the guy sitting in that chair. Because if Chauncey Billups goes to trial and loses, he will be in a federal prison for years. Not a day.
And this is a man with a family and a lot to live for.
Now, I can't tell you what level of prison he'll be at. My guess is it'll be at a federal prison camp, the lowest level of security, because I do think this is a federal case, not a state case, right? So he's going to go to prison. And he's going to be in prison for more than a year, maybe a couple of years, depending on what the ultimate charges are and how a judge decides things, right? And when you have gotten accustomed to living a certain lifestyle of luxury, and you're now, given you're now kind of offered the two options of you could go to trial, lose, and you're behind bars for a number of years with really bad people, or you help us out and you never spend a day behind bars or in a federal prison camp, and you just have to live life being a rat.
Right.
You've seen a lot of mobsters become rats. They're all tough guys, right?
They all do interviews now on the internet.
A lot of them have podcasts talking about murders and RICO violations and like bad stuff, right?
Doing a lot of telling now. A lot of telling.
Look, this is not going to get settled in the near future. This has at least a year and a half, 2 years to go. But that's the pressure. Because when you're used to sleeping on like 1,000-count Egyptian sheets, right? And you're drinking good drinks and wine and having the car of your choice and the 10,000 square foot mansion and all the things that come with that, the prospects of becoming a number and living in a 7x7 cubicle or cell is very powerful. But it also brought up to me another gambling story, which is not getting any attention or enough attention. The owner of the New York Mets baseball team is a guy named Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen is actually the impetus for the Showtime show, Billions.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, that's loosely based on him.
Oh, wow.
All right?
I didn't know that.
He's the guy that had to write $1 billion check to the government because they accused him of insider trading, and he paid them off and didn't go to prison. All right, he wrote a check. All right, so that's Steve Cohen, and he's worth like $16 billion. He's the wealthiest individual owner of any sports team in this country. Okay, he's also in a couple weeks going to be given one of only 3 downtown New York casino licenses. First time ever in the history of New York, real casino-style gaming, live dealers, sports wagering, the whole bit. Right? He's going to get one of those licenses. Now, for a long time, it was a rule in Major League Baseball that a baseball owner could not be the operating owner of a gambling outfit or a casino. The only person or family that ever got deeded in was the Ilitch family. Mike Ilitch, you may remember, Red Wings owner,
I do remember.
Tigers owner, and he's the guy that invented Little Caesars Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Pizza.
All right.
Very good pizza.
Hot and ready.
There you go. So when Mike Ilitch passed away, his wife ran the Tigers operation, and to appease Major League Baseball, his son ran the casino operation, and in theory, they never cross-mingled. We know it's BS, obviously. They're mom and son.
Yeah,
but that appeased Major League Baseball that there's no funny business, okay? But how do you let the owner, and he owns like 90% of the team. There are a couple minority owners of the New York Mets. How does Major League Baseball, knowing they're on the heels of a major gambling scandal with Clase and a couple other guys, how do you allow the principal owner of the New York Mets to be the principal owner of an active casino where people can bet on baseball? And nobody's talking about that. Now, I know the one thing they're going to do, much like they did in Vegas for so many years, where you couldn't bet on UNLV games, or if you're at a sports book in New Jersey, you can't bet on Rutgers, right? The State University in New Jersey. You will not be allowed to bet on New York Mets baseball games or Met players prop wagers, I'm sure, in the Steve Cohen Casino, which is going to be right across the street from Citi Field where the Mets play. But how is Major League Baseball going to allow a baseball owner to own a casino where his patrons can bet on Major League Baseball?
It's fishy, and even if you take the Mets out, an owner has information. There's no getting around it. Owner has inside information.
I'd like to think at his level financially, he's not going to trade on that. But we said the same thing about players making $30 million who are trading on a couple $1,000 based on a pitch he might throw.
I'm also talking about if he does any email communication, any text messages, anything that can be hacked. You now have a treasure trove of information.
So I know Hard Rock's running the casino for him, but to me, you can't tell me that you're concerned about the integrity of your sport and then let one of your owners own and open up a casino 50 feet away from the stadium your team is playing in. Like, am I the only person that thinks that's a little odd?
You're not.
No one else is talking about it.
Will players be allowed to attend that casino at all?
Well, there's rules for the Players Association, what they're allowed to do, where they're allowed to do it. I'll double check that. But, like, no one thinks this is a potential problem or a hazard? It's crazy. And he's about to become a casino owner before the end of this year. It's nuts.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Buy or sell. Thursday night football should end after week 10, George. You going to buy or sell this?
It's too short a week. It's not healthy for the players. You'll never be able to convince me otherwise here. The NFL will tell you, oh, stats tell us no, it's not more injuries. And that's all BS. All right. Should it end after week 10? In a perfect world, there probably should be no Thursday night games. Should it end after week 10? Sure, I'll buy this. But it's not going to. There's too much money here. It's never going to end, all right? They're going to have it forever. You're lucky there's not a Friday, Saturday schedule as well, and there's some laws involved there as to why there's not. The NFL is going to have a schedule or for any day they can get here. It's all about money here. And if the players don't want it, by the way, you got to realize, well, you're going to lose a significant chunk of revenue out of your salary as well here.
Right.
So I'll buy this, but it doesn't matter. It's not going away.
Yeah, I mean, George just basically said everything that I was going to say, So, the games, so of course I'll buy it. The games are not good. Generally, the home team has a big advantage. If not, the teams are not prepared to play on Thursday night. Yes, there have been some upsets and some underdogs winning. We saw it Thursday night. But the quality of play on Thursday is lower than what it is on the weekends. And there's no end in sight to it because of what George said, the money. That's just all that matters. If Amazon Prime doesn't take it, Netflix will take it. If they don't take it, Apple will take it. If they don't take it, somebody else will take it. I don't know. Hulu, I don't know. You make it up. Someone will. So it is not going away. And, generally speaking, I'm excited every week when the games begin, and then I forget, and then the games usually stink, and I'm like, oh, gosh, this game wasn't good anyway. So George is right. Not going away because of the money.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. We have a podcast exclusive for you. Sat down with my main man, filmmaker Vance Howard, also multi-billionaire, who did an amazing documentary on the life and times of Bum Phillips and the Houston Oilers back in the 1970s. If you're a football fan and you want to know a little bit more about the history of the NFL that we adore and love, you can't claim to be an NFL guy or gal and not know the complete story about Bum Phillips. Yeah. It's called Love You Bum. And it's an exclusive podcast release. When are we putting it out? Today?
Today.
Yeah, it goes out today.
This morning.
So if you're looking for a little NFL history in your life and some of the colorful stories about Bum Phillips and the background of Vance Howard, who's a gazillionaire and a really good dude who also has a cattle ranch and thinks filet is the best cut of meat.
Now that's a man right there that knows about a real rancher, too, a real rancher.
So you can download the Craig Carton Show podcast, subscribe, and leave comments on there as well. We appreciate that, as we have only been doing it for about a month or so, so nice to get that off the ground again. Vance Howard, that's later today. That'll go out, and every show can be heard, and every segment can be heard when we release the podcast, okay? You good on that? Great. By the way, I'm getting really close right now to changing my top 5 NBA players of all time. And are you? I'm getting close. Okay. Because Steph Curry, I think, is going to become number 2 on my list. We all know I'm a Jordan guy, so no reason to talk about that.
Come on.
I'm this close. I'm this close to making Steph Curry my second best basketball player of all time. I'm not there yet. But he did something in the last 2 nights that's unheard of. The man scored over 30 points in back-to-back games. He had 69 total in the 2 games and made 1 free throw. In a day and age where dudes like your favorite player, LeBron, are padding their stats with free throws and begging for whistles, all Steph Curry does is score against taller dudes, stronger dudes, without going to the rim, without going to the free throw line. It's absurd. And I think, frankly, we take Steph Curry for granted. An argument's going to be made, and look, I'm this close to making it. I just can't put him over Kobe just yet. But I'm this close to telling you that Steph Curry is the second best basketball player in the history of the NBA.
Well, now you know, this is my issue. No, this is the issue.
Hold on.
I don't even know where to start because you're so
You're the same guy
wrong.
that 3 hours ago told me that Karl Malone's top 10.
He's top 20. I didn't say top 10. I never would put him in the top 10. All right? A top 10 bad guys or villains to ever play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Just so we know.
Hold on.
Yeah,
hold on. Just so people know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Pre-show, we're talking hoops. And I just sit here and listen to Ethan, our producer, talk with Tyrone about basketball. Tyrone A. Johnson.
That Ethan was talking.
Tyrone A. Johnson has Karl Malone ranked higher than Bill Russell.
Yeah, a 15-point score. Rest in peace. Right now, I can name my top 20 right now. We don't have to do that.
Do it.
But, but I will say this. Curry so far this year, to your free throw point, it's not a good point. He's averaging a career high in free throws per game.
The point is the last 2 games, 1 free throw made,
it's
69 points.
It's 2 games.
The dude's 37 years old, and he's still the best shooter in basketball.
4,000
made threes. He might be number 2. You got to get your head around that.
He's at 5.5 free throws per game. You're talking about LeBron's being a foul merchant.
When he was
37, he got 6 a game. Let's miss me with this.
It's
not accurate.
5?
What do you mean, 6 and 5.5? It's about half a free throw here. This is ridiculous.
Anyhow,
your reasoning is
I'm telling you this. I'm not doing it today.
Curry's 5th all time.
I'm not doing it today.
Curry's 5th all time.
But I'm this close to making Steph Curry number 2. I'm putting it out there. You can discuss amongst yourselves. I know all the obvious names. You don't have to call me or tell you. Matter of fact, you can send us questions or comments right now. Questions. What's the email address?
What's the email address? I believe it's the Carton. It's questions at CraigCartonShow.com. Questions at CraigCartonShow.
At CraigCartonShow.com. Okay. Questions at CraigCartonShow.com.
That's right.
We'll answer. Matter of fact, tomorrow for Thanksgiving, Thursday for Thanksgiving, we'll answer all your questions. Okay.
There you go.
But I'm this close. To putting Steph Curry number 2 all time in the history of the NBA.
He's top 5.
what he did the last 2 games and what he's done his whole career, I think we take that cat for granted. I don't think we truly appreciate the consistency, the championships, never left, never shopped the championship, never told Golden State, I want you to trade me so I can go play with a couple of the Hall of Famers and pad my stats.
No, they drafted the Hall of Famers.
Never changed his number.
They drafted the Hall of Famers.
Never changed teams. Never demanded to be
so
traded.
So now you taking shots at Kobe for changing numbers?
All that, he changed numbers because of the rape allegation.
Well,
he had to rebrand himself.
Well, I'm saying.
Different story. That being said, Steph Curry is a man on an island amongst today's NBA players. And he might very well end up number 2. I'll let you know by Christmas, but I'm getting there, man.
He's top 5.
I'm getting there.
I will say this, and I'll elaborate more about this on Friday. He's as much a genetic freak as LeBron is.
You can argue about that on Friday.
He's as much as a genetic freak as LeBron is.
Well, tune in on Friday. Tyrone's filling in for me, and you get all Tyrone all the time.
That's right.
Day after Thanksgiving, and of course, and I'll have a review, of course, of the 3 games from Thursday and the Big Eagle game Friday afternoon. It's a 3:00 game, by the way, on Friday. A couple news and notes while we have time. We have a minute and a half.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get involved with world politics on this show for obvious reasons. If you're looking to have people hate you more than they already do, talk politics.
Yeah.
But there's an interesting tidbit in this Russia-Ukrainian war that's in like year 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a claim that there's another kind of peace treaty on the table. Ukraine has said yes, sir. They're waiting for Putin to sign off on it. But sports is involved. There's a claim right now that Putin is going to sign off on this war treaty to stop the war between Russia and Ukraine that they started, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because he wants Russia to be able to field a hockey team in the Olympics. And if they're still attacking the Ukraine, the International Olympic Committee will not allow Russia to field teams
just like they did the last
in any
Olympics.
of the sports like the last Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And because hockey is so important to the Russian culture and to Putin, there's a thought right now that the Olympics are going to end the war because he wants Russia to be able to participate specifically in hockey in this year's Winter Olympics and not be left out.
Yeah, and he has till February 6th is the first date. He probably needs to be a month ahead of that.
I would say at least, right?
At least.
So keep an eye on that the Olympics may have brought about peace. Shows you how important sports can be. Crazy story. Crazy.
Close to $1 million in volume being traded right now on the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Like, hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They love Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. Like it just burns up quick.
Mm-hmm.
And you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterby.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy, but possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. Yeah, there are times as an announcer you say, man, that'd be a cool job to have, right?
Yeah.
You know, play-by-play guy, New York Knicks, that kind of thing. I was blessed. I got to do New York Yankees games on the radio a couple summers ago. Great thrill, like a little bucket list thing. Boop, check the list, right? But, you know, when you do those games, you have to be very familiar with the names of the players, which is why, although I did do one NHL game, I did an Islander-Penguin game when the Islanders were home. Where was that game? That game was actually at Barclays Center. Okay?
Yeah, that was that 1 year they were there before they
moved.
moved.
And you can go find the tapes, but I did play-by-play.
Yeah.
So I've done an NHL game, legitimately. I've done a bunch of NBA games as well. I've done Yankee games, all right? And I love it. I like doing play-by-play, and it's like, oh, look at that. But part of the deal is you got to know people's names and how to pronounce them. And that's why when I did the Islander-Penguin game, I had a little trouble with some of the European names.
I would think so.
And I got through it. I just decided that Sidney Crosby was going to have the greatest game of all time, which is a trick that Bob Costas taught me. When Bob Costas was first starting on broadcasting, he had to do a minor league hockey game at Syracuse. And he had no idea the players' names. And he was a kid, like a 19-year-old kid. And he's told the story at every event he's ever been invited to. So I'm telling a story that's been overtold. But Bob Costas said he picked one guy out on each team that he could pronounce the name. So make it up. Wilson and Johnson, right?
Work off of that.
And those two guys had the greatest games ever played in the history of hockey because he couldn't pronounce everyone else's name.
Right.
He didn't know the players. So I took Bob's advice. And when I did the Islander-Penguin game, I picked 3 or 4 guys who I knew I could recognize by number and name. And there's a guy named Casey Clutterbuck. All right, great. Clutterbuck this, Clutterbuck that. Crosby this, Malkin that. And that's how I did the game. Yeah. And honestly, it was awesome. I was offered a job, I'm not going to tell you what team, to become a regular, everyday hockey play-by-play guy for a local New York team.
No cap. No cap.
I was not wearing a hat, no. I did it because I want to show respect to the
all right.
I got you.
All right.
So the long setup for this story is there's a freshman quarterback at Alabama. And he might very well become the next great Alabama quarterback, I suppose. Yeah. And I was thinking, what would I do if I was the play-by-play guy for Alabama football and this guy became the starting quarterback? How would I handle that? You want to help me out on that one?
I'd say Gazaniga.
Okay.
Gazaniga is what I would say.
Yeah?
That's what I would say.
You would go Gazaniga.
I'd have to be quite careful and do that, yes. Okay?
You'd have to be less careful.
Yeah. Now, that's not what I would want to say.
Okay,
but that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Gazaniga drops back.
And it ends in an A, not an ER.
Right, so that gives you some wiggle room.
No. Again, it might give you some wiggle room. I don't get the same wiggle room, nor should I.
He throws a touchdown.
Yeah.
Gazaniga, please. Big pass. Yeah, it'd be a real tough thing.
Okay, so now you're the play-by-play guy. Let's say Alabama is playing, I don't know, Eastern Michigan.
Oh, like last week when they didn't play everybody in the SEC played the weaker teams.
Yes,
that could happen.
So let's say Alabama's playing Eastern Michigan, and their freshman or maybe sophomore linebacker.
Now the graphic, why would you have the K in the white right there if you're going to do that graphic there?
Yeah, well, we didn't do it.
Yeah. Why would they do that?
So how would it sound, Tyrone, if Noah sacked, what's the other kid's first name?
Gazaniga.
John.
John.
If Noah sacked John, and you're the play-by-play guy, you want to just give us a sample play? 3rd and 7 from the 25. John's going to drop back to pass. Noah's going to come in blitzing and sack him. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. Gazaniga drops back. Oh, gosh.
What?
Kaniga with the sack, a loss of 7, 3rd down. I got to be real careful.
You got to be.
I got to be real, because it's his name, so nobody get mad at me. It's his name.
And
so
these are real names. This is not like an AI thing.
His name's Kaniga. Like, I don't know what you want to say. That's his name.
I'm not saying it.
That's his name. That's his name.
Noah what?
It's Noah Kanigga is his name. Kanigga. That's his name. That's his name.
Yeah.
It puts me in a real bind here.
Who did he just get a sack against?
Gaza nigga. So it's really put me in a real bind here that these are these people's names. I feel like this was intentional. They're by the parents. They changed their name along the way.
I mean, wouldn't you?
His last name was just that. And he added a K, and they added Gaza. Your last name was just John Edward, and then you added Gaza to the front.
We got to make it better.
Can't do this.
Add a syllable to it.
Come on.
Have yourselves a great day. Thanks for watching the Craig Carton Show. We'll be back again tomorrow for Thanksgiving Eve. Be blessed. Awesome.